Get the Intel, the podcast meant for those of us trying to find out what the hell is going on in the field. Here we discuss tools, techniques, and approaches that you can implement to streamline operations and let you focus on your craft.
Hello, Chad Gill here. I am the host of the Get the Intel podcast, where I talk with leaders in facilities management, architecture, contracting, and more. So Lamin & Coach is the sponsor of this podcast. Lamin is a business coaching company with a focus on contractors in and around construction. We not only help you with proposing solutions and methods, but we implement them in your businesses as well. After all, good ideas are not useful until they're implemented. So whether you wish to integrate remote personnel or learn to automate and delegate, you can visit us at laminandcoach.com to see how we can help you find some more capacity and freedom. So joining me today is Vinessa Palermo. She is the CEO of LaSalle Construction Services, starting that position in December of 2021. And she's a USC grad, which my daughter would have a hard time with, but we're going to plow forward anyway, especially after my amazing performance of getting ready for this podcast that she had to sit through. So Vinessa, thank you for your patience and for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me kind of a little bit about how you got into being into LaSalle Construction and kind of what that path looked like.
Yeah, so my dad was the founder of the company. He founded it in 1990, and as I grew up, he has always told me that the plan was for me to take over. Well, he didn't tell me; he gave me a choice, but you know how that goes. So
Yep.
he had me choose at a very young age. He said, "You can do whatever you want to do. That's up to you. But if you want this, this is here for you." And of course, it was an amazing opportunity. So I went the route of choosing to take it over. And he coached me all throughout high school and college of what classes to take, what books to read. I interned every summer and did a rotational internship experience. And I graduated with a business management and business analytics degree. And then I started in my role immediately after college, and he actually had me graduate early. He's always been one to chase the best opportunities in the industry. And so when things started to slow down, he saw an opportunity with us becoming woman owned. So he pulled me out to start learning in the office sooner, which, as we all know, I learned more in my first couple of months in the office than I did all 4 years of college. It's usually how it goes. But so yeah, I've been in my role about little over 2 years now, and it's grown beautifully. I mean, I've been learning a ton, and I'm still working on the construction part. It's a very complicated and new industry for me. So,
What kind of work do you guys do?
so we are a general contractor, heavy industrial, commercial. We do have some self-perform capabilities as well of carpentry, concrete, selective demolition, excavation, and then we do work all over the country.
Wow. So how when you were coming back and doing your internships, I mean, did you run into a lot of friction and stuff like that because you were because you're the daughter and stuff like that, or was it pretty open? I mean, everybody thinks it's easier, but typically it's harder to be the kid than it is to be a regular employee.
Yeah, so I was extremely lucky. Everyone here has been so great to me. And when I did my rotational internships, I sat down with every single person in the whole company, and I learned with each person for a couple of weeks. And there's about 35 employees in the office. So I took the time to get to know what each person does on a day-to-day basis. And I learned a lot from every single one of them. And I was very open when I did my internships about the fact that I am young, and I am still learning and will be learning for the rest of my life. And they've just been so kind and helpful to me through the whole transition.
So what about going into becoming a woman-owned business, like a WBE, and getting that certification? Was that arduous? Was it did it kind of open your eyes to a lot of different things, or was it just kind of paperwork?
Yeah, so getting the actual certificate itself, there was a very lengthy paperwork process, and then I had a multi-hour interview. because they want to make sure that it's not a passover, that you're truly a woman-owned business, and you do have a woman that's 51% owner and involved in all the day-to-day operations. And they are very serious about making sure that all of that checks out. And so it was quite a long process, but the we're certified through Women's Business Enterprise National Council, the Great
Mhm.
Lakes region, and their staff is truly amazing. I mean, they were so helpful through the whole process, and of course, they want to see as many WBE certified companies as possible, because we are such a minority that they want to help out as best they can. So I would say, the whole process was long and a little bit, meticulous, but it's opened a lot of doors for us. And then that's a whole nother challenge in itself, has been navigating the diversity industry, because there are goals, and then there are mandatory requirements, and there are companies who truly care, and then there are companies who just put it on there as something to have, but they don't actually care. And so navigating all of that has been really interesting, but um, it has opened quite a few doors for us.
Do you find that it's difficult being a woman in construction? Do you find that it's, is it just an unexpected thing? Do you run into some roadblocks from time to time, or you just surprise people?
Yeah, I've run into a lot of challenges. I mean, also, so my full name's Vanessa, and I go by Vinny. So Vinny Palermo, and when they
Okay.
see my name on paper or they hear it, they automatically think it's going to be a guy. And then I'm young, and I am a woman, and so I
Yeah.
surprise people sometimes. I have run into a few challenges, but for the most part, my experience overall has been very good. And I'm so lucky that my dad has put together such an amazing team, because I do hear, some horror stories of other, women coming up in the construction industry or taking over their father's business, and it hasn't been as positive of an experience. But I think that has a lot to do with the people that are involved, and I have had a really, really wonderful experience.
And it sounds like your dad really did a lot there of not of coaching you into it to be able to say, hey, is it, making sure that you were ready for each step along the way. I mean, I think that's a testament to preparation for sure.
Yeah.
What so if you're coming along and like, okay, if you run into a situation where you say, hey, there's something like a leverage point or something that you feel like you guys have kind of mastered, or something that's been, that made your business set itself apart, or anything like that?
Yeah, so one of our key differentiators is definitely our self-perform division, because most general contractors or GCs, they just GC, they just manage the overall site, but we have a lot of our own equipment. We have a yard, we have a field staff, and all of these things help us tremendously in setting ourselves apart. And so we get a lot of calls of emergency type situations, because we can have boots on the ground within a day, which is a huge thing. We'll do anything from ground ups to additions or renovations, maintenance contracts. We are actually General Motors PDPM partner for 5 of their plants in Ohio.
Oh
We've
wow.
maintained those contracts ever since 2002, which I think is also a huge testament to our quality of work. But something that we've kind of discovered recently that really sets us apart is in the industry. So we do about 55 million annually. That ranges from 55 to 120. So in the general contracting sphere, we're kind of a smaller general contractor. We're not a Barton Mallow or a Wallbridge or any of those mega construction companies.
Right.
So we have actually found a niche working under a larger GC on a mega site. So
Yep.
right now we're working under Wallbridge down at the Ford Blue Oval City project in Stanton, Tennessee. That's the largest site in the country right now. So
Oh,
it's really exciting work, and that's actually the first door that was open to us when we became women owned. So that's a pride point as well. But we started off with a small $3 million contract, self-performing excavation for the MEP trades down there, and we've grown it to 70 million worth of contracted work in under a year. And
wow.
we've found great success working Even though we're usually prime on all of our jobs, we found great success as acting as a diverse subcontractor to those mega GCs. And so that's kind of a whole new business model that we've been working. And it's great because, all of the subcontractors, all those diversity requirements, it doesn't matter if it's tier 1, tier 2, they all account for the site as a whole. So it allows the larger GC to focus on the huge part of the plant, the main buildings, and then we take smaller, ancillary buildings or security buildings out of the way that they don't feel like, having to spend a lot of time and energy on.
Yeah, they can be almost a distraction, but it's a great place where a well-run,
Yeah.
diversity group can pop in and say, hey, we can serve two roles here, and I think there's always, in the same with any kind of contractor, there are good contractors and bad contractors. There are going to be good diversity contractors that, they're excellent contractors that happen to also have that diversity certification that will make them even more valuable. And I think that, I think when you're in a niche like that and you're well run and you have the processes and stuff, it probably makes it even more attractive. But yeah, 3 to 70, that's a pretty good increase.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, like you said, one of our, of course, being woman owned is a huge plus, but we pride ourselves in our experience in the industry and the fact that we've been around so long. So we're, respected, trusted GC, and then that WBE certification is just something extra on top.
Yeah, it's like you're not good because you're WBE.
Right,
You're not just a good woman business. You're a good business that's also, yeah. I think that would be something that I'm sure that would be a source of pride that, you want to make sure that people understand, we're not here, we're here because we deserve to be here and we're really good at this. Are you guys utilizing, there's lots of talk about AI and software and all the different things that happen with that. And how much of that are you guys utilizing? Because one of the benefits of being younger in the construction is you're probably more open to that kind of thing. But do you find that a lot of that is coming into what you guys do?
Yeah, so with my transition into my role, there's been this whole generational transition in leadership. And a lot of the people on the leadership team have been around with my dad decades. And so part of me coming in, my team has hired me a mentor, and she was hired primarily for the role of, helping me and coaching me along, but also figuring out how to retain and attract young top talent. And a huge part of that is getting involved in the new technology and softwares. And we have, our vice president of estimating, his name is Ken Perko. He is a savant in what he does, but he'll listen to a job while he's driving on the phone and estimate it on a napkin. And all of our younger estimators are trying to learn from him, and they want to see his notes and how he gets to where he is, but he just knows he's so good at what he does. And so a huge challenge has been marrying those two, the ones that love to work in the computer and then the ones that just want to do everything on paper. And so, that's been a fun kind of thing. So we're meeting in the middle. We're trying to have attempt both ways because there's benefits to both.
Sure.
And then, with AI, this has become a new topic that we're all kind of diving into. So I had the leadership team come with me to a conference in February that was about scaling, because we actually doubled the size of our company this past year. So we're dealing with all of the growing pains and, how to standardize our processes and procedures so that we can do the same things over and over again, rinse and repeat. And one of the main topics there was AI and how it is here. And if you don't, learn how to use it, you're going to get left behind. And so, we were looking up all these different topics of how to incorporate it into our daily lives just to make life easier. And it's any kind of change and anything different in your routine is a little, it's unusual. It's not comfortable, but it has been kind of fun to learn what you can use AI for. So I just learned this one thing you can type in that's, I guess you type in what you're trying to figure out, problem you're trying to solve, and you say, like, how would this person have dealt with it? And you can use any type of business person or historical figure and see what would be going through their brains and how they would solve the issue. And I just think that's so interesting. You can literally dive into the brain of any person that you admire or is successful. And yeah, we've
I've
been
used what you're
learning a
talking
lot.
about. It's like you get to talk to. You could chat back and forth like it's a friend that also has all the knowledge of the available internet,
Mhm.
and you can just ask them questions. They'll ask you questions, and it's a crazy powerful tool. And then we're seeing it. I met a guy. They were talking about being able to temporarily light a job site, and I said, well, how in the world is that applicable to your business? And he made drones, AI powered drones. Well, they have tethered drones basically with an extension cord on them so they can fly 24/7. And then their lights are on the bottom of the drone. So you can put 100,000 lumens of light and follow around the work site so that you have a fully lit, downlit job site for a smaller area. And it's just, but the AI is following the activity on the site and making sure it lights it where they light and stuff. I mean, it's loads and loads of little micro moments that are getting picked up, which is making the speed of construction much faster.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's really neat. I think you refer to them as your leadership team. Are you running on EOS? Is that where you pull that team, or do you just refer to them as leadership team?
Yeah, it's just our leadership team. So we have head of estimating, head of project management, our CFO, myself, my dad, who's now executive advisor, and we also call him consigliere, and then my mentor.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
From your business analytics side, are you a numbers driven? I mean, do you guys run by a scorecard, and is that an important thing?
Yeah, so we'll review that at all of our quarterly meetings, and we also track our own personal diverse spend within our subcontractors, because it's an important aspect for us, as well as being considered as a diverse company. We want to show that runs throughout all of our parts, and so that'll be on the scorecard as well. But we are pretty statistic driven. The only thing is, my dad has always followed the opportunities that have come up throughout his career, and so we'll have pivotal moments in our company's history. So we went through a period where we did 3 to 4 ground up Walmart super centers every year, and that's the bulk of what we did. And then I think we spent about 4 years in Mississippi rebuilding the communities after Hurricane Katrina hit, and that was the bulk of our work. And those kind of things, the numbers will always range. So depending on more GC work, more self-perform work, we are very statistics driven, but every year can be different for us.
Yeah, that's you have to be fast acting. I mean, it sounds like you guys are pretty rapid response there. Plus, you're not working close. You're in Michigan, correct?
Yep.
So yeah, Tennessee, that's not right down the street. So I mean, you guys are all, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, that is fantastic. Well, love to see that, love to see the success that you're having, and it sounds like you're having some fun with it too, which is good. I mean,
Thank you.
doesn't have to be bad all the time,
No, it doesn't.
Good days, but that's fantastic. But I really appreciate you joining me on the show. I mean, it's great to hear from it. I mean, in spite of the USC thing, it looks like it's going quite well.
Yeah, but take a poll on which is better, USC or Clemson. Don't tell your daughter I said that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, it's I don't know. They were burning a chicken when we were down there for a football game one time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty intense. That's a fun rivalry to have.
It is very fun.
I think schools without a big rivalry are missing out a little bit, But, well, that's great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I can kind of look forward to seeing where you guys show up next. That's pretty impressive repertoire you have going.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye, Chad.
Thanks for listening to Get the Intel. We'll see you next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.